You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
We are back. Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. We have two recaps in one. After last week, I was sick all week. I really couldn't talk until around Thursday or Friday, and didn't want to cook my voice on a podcast. But now I'm getting it all out here for you people on a Monday afternoon. I am fresh and ready to go. I am joined by Ty Capone. Ty, how are you feeling today? We have a lot of mixed martial arts to talk about.
Yeah, setting up for a bunch of fights getting made. That's hopefully setting up for a nice summer. But I have a lot of skepticism on the future of the UFC, or at least the current layout of some of their decision-making, some of the fights that they're putting together, some of the just decisions they're making with just signing all these other guys, but offering these really good regional fighters like a Cedric Doumbé, offer him pennies, and then he goes to the PFL and gets a big contract. They're just dying to sign these contender series fighters. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. You can lose and then maybe win a regional fight against JLs, and then you're back in the picture. So there's a lot of cards that aren't really great. There's a lot of fights that aren't really making sense. A lot of inactivity between some of your top guys, and a lot of just questions about what some of the top stars of the sport are going to be doing. There's a lot of talent, right? But I'm not sure the direction we're going. It seems like we're kind of stalling out a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'd echo a lot of those sentiments. It just seems like the UFC has really hit a wall. I think they think they're bigger than they actually are, and they don't think they need to put in that work anymore. I'm sure the checks are great from Disney and ESPN and all that, but they are just more concerned about the bottom line and signing, like you said, contender series guys who are willing to fight for pennies, because they think the brand itself will shine through, and it's just guys fighting, and it doesn't really matter who it is or, what kind of skill level they're at. The more you watch some of these fight nights, and even the lower ends of these UFC UFC cards, pay-per-view, I should say, you can just tell the skill level. It just seems like it's diminished. I don't know if that's my own personal interpretation, but I feel like there's a lot of low-level guys getting in there, and when before it never really seemed like that.
Yeah, and I think what they're doing for this International Fight Week card, I think it's cool, it's good, right? You got Volkanovski in there, you got two belts on the line, Bo Nickel, there's a couple, Robbie Lawler's going to be his last fight, Sean Brady, Jack Della Maddalena. The prelims will look pretty good. Our girl Yasmin Uruguay is getting back in there against Denise Gomez. That's going to be a good-ass fight. Cameron Simon, Christian Rodriguez, good fight. So there's definitely, it's a decent little card, but for International Fight Week, it's just not what it usually is, right? Last year, I believe it was not Connor. It was Adesanya and Cannonier. And that was even a little disappointing. But you had Volkanovski, Max as the co-main, and then Alex Pereira was in the feature bout, right? Jalen Turner was also on that one last year. Before that, I believe, was Connor and Dustin 3, right? 2021 International Fight Week. 2020, they didn't have one. COVID. 2019, John Jones, Thiago Santos, right? So that's just pretty much what they've always done. This just doesn't seem like as big. I'm sure Marino and Pantoja is cool. They're running it back. They fought before. Volkan, Yair, that'll be interesting. Bo Nickel, get to see what he's doing, but it's him against Tresean Gore. They're combined 8-2, and that's the feature bout. So, yeah. I don't know, it just seems like, they just broke a bunch of records apparently in UFC Charlotte, which is just
who confusing. Cares? They always love to bring that out.
Yeah.
How hard is it to break a record in North Carolina when you're probably upcharging all these tickets for people who haven't seen a card in God knows how long? What record are they really breaking? I guess
the highest gate for a fight night ever. The attendance was pretty high. It was almost 20,000. I don't know. Either way, I don't know who they showed up for. The main event, probably Jailton Almeida. Other than him, I don't know. wasn't really that great of a card. Also had it was marred by some missed weights, a couple canceled fights, some bad refereeing all around. So,
Yeah, we'll go into the whole the debacle that was UFC Charlotte, UFC on ABC 4. But since we did not have an episode last week, I guess we should discuss it a little bit. UFC 288 Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey. Aljamain Sterling wins a razor-thin decision over Henry Cejudo. I didn't think it was a robbery. I thought Henry had won after the fight. I have not gotten the chance to watch it back. I usually have to wait a couple weeks before it comes available on the old ESPN Plus. I did not buy it this time because I was not home. I always buy them, of course. But what did you think of this one? Did you think Sterling won?
Yeah, I think he did. I thought he just he was working more and he was doing enough things to kind of win parts of the round or win rounds.
Yeah.
I think we saw a deteriorating Henry Cejudo, somebody that could probably win fights. Maybe I'd like to see him move up. Possibly, I'm not all. Yeah, he's just he's not he got his own takedowns and he did his own thing or whatever. He had some moments of success for sure. I don't want to. It just seemed an easy 3-2 win. He had 3 takedowns of his own, but he got taken down 4 times. Alger just works, man. He just works and works. And he has some decent, striking's a little awkward. He's just awkward in general. He still doesn't, you stand there and trade punches. I think you can beat him for sure. That's why I think an O'Malley fight would be interesting because it's very, fight goes to the ground, it's over. Fight stays standing, who knows? So, but Alger does a lot of kicking. He's really good with kicks. He attacks the body, attacks the legs. He's pretty good in the clinch. Just a solid everywhere, right? And I think he used his game to just I guess slightly
neutralize. Yeah, he just neutralized.
Slightly edge him out. It was a split, right? Somebody had it for Henry.
Yeah, I think the big problem I had was Derek Cleary giving the 5th round to Sterling, which I thought was the most clear round for Henry Cejudo. Insane, and the fact that if it went the way it should have went, that Cejudo would have won, which is also kind of insane. Like I don't think that's how that should have went down. So in a way, I am kind of glad Derek Cleary made the bad scorecard because if he didn't, Henry Cejudo wins, and I just what happens from there. I don't think I just think Cejudo is on his way out. But regardless, it was a decent fight. It wasn't great. But I think it went the way that we would probably predict it. Yeah, it really wasn't like this is what I said to the people that like my brother. I don't even think he watched it. Just anyone I talked to. It wasn't an exciting fight, but I thought it was entertaining from the competitive aspect. It really was a really close matchup. I think Sterling was. I didn't really account for how much bigger Sterling was going to be and how much of a factor that was going to be. Sterling's stand-up looked good. And I just think he just outclassed Henry in a lot of aspects. I think he was able to get more of his wrestling off than I really thought he was going to be able to. And I don't think Henry was able to hold him down as much as I thought he was going to be able to because he's so fucking big. He was really able to build a base and get back up quickly whenever he was taken down. So good win for Aljamain. I think it's better for the sport, this setup with Sterling and O'Malley. Then bringing him into the octagon with the red leather jacket on, Merab putting it on. Then he's going to beat Merab's ass. It was that's what you want when you're for these big fight nights, especially when the fight itself is kind of boring. He's getting booed out of his own, the closest he can get to his home arena, other than MSG, which he can't fight in New York. We discussed that on the last pod, but.
Yeah, and he was getting booed.
He was getting booed out of there. I think O'Malley is fun. I think he's exciting. And I think that fight, like you said, it's a clash of styles. It's going to be awesome to watch those two get in there. Probably in September or at some point towards the end of the summer. So that'll be cool. Bilal Muhammad with a win against Gilbert Burns. What a snooze fest this was. Gilbert was hurt, I believe, very early on in the second round or towards the end of the first round off of a weird exchange on a takedown where he kind of just his own body weight and Bilal's ended up on the left shoulder of Gilbert. He was not able to throw his left hand for the rest of the fight. And I mean, Bilal, I can't stress this enough how boring Bilal Muhammad is. But I do feel bad for him in the sense that he can't really, no matter what he does, it just doesn't. And after a fight, I've never left thinking, man, he's up next. He's going to fight for the title. His best performance was against Sean Brady. And unfortunately, that's kind of been lessened because he was, Sean Brady's undefeated. He hadn't really fought at that level yet. It really didn't get a credentialed win. This would have been a big credentialed win, but it's marred in a little bit of controversy. Not necessarily controversy, but he doesn't get the credit that he deserves because Gilbert was hurt, and he didn't even come close to getting him out of there at any point. He really didn't even push the pace. He kind of just, paddled his way through a easy unanimous decision, and good win, but I don't really know if that's going to get you a title shot.
No, it definitely shouldn't. And I'm still going to take some of these guys over him. I guess I kind of have to keep on the hating, right? But
yeah.
I will say he did fight with an injury, right? His foot was pretty fucked
That's what
up.
they said.
It would have been nice to
Didn't
know
look
that
like
Gilbert
it was
Burns,
bothering him, though.
No, it would have been nice to know if Gilbert Burns had, a laundry list of ailments, either coming into or during the fight. That would have been nice to know. But, I think he tore his left deltoid. He sprained his neck. So definitely need to take some time off for Gilbert. I don't really know what he has left here. Bilal's just good everywhere. He's just all around solid. I mean, he's got an amazing gas tank. His cardio is awesome, and for somebody that Ramadan, he didn't get to really have the training camps. It's really been a weird year. He's had some bad luck for sure, but he didn't get a chance to really. This wasn't the best version of him, I don't think, and he still looked awesome. I wouldn't say awesome, but he looked good.
Yeah,
he did what he had to do. The best. The only thing that really matters at the end of the day is getting wins, right? And that's what he's just been able to do. He's 23-3 now. I think, I don't know what's next exactly. 170 is kind of weird. I guess we'll see after this. See what Leon can do. I don't know. I still favor Leon over Bilal 100%. I think Colby beats Bilal. I don't know. My opinion on him hasn't changed too much. I will say I'm a big critic. I don't like much about him as a fighter necessarily, but definitely not as a character, as his fake little character he has. But I think he fights
awful.
Yeah, I think he fights Chimaev. He gets smoked. I think he fights Usman. Maybe he wins, but Usman's nearing the end of the road here. So I think Usman and Chimaev is going to happen, right, at 185? Is that a thing?
That's what it's. I mean, that's what a lot of they're going back and forth. I kind of have a tough time believing they're going to do that. There's they want to talk about catch weights, and Dana's like, I'm not doing anything like that. And neither one of them are really 85ers yet.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what that does for either one of them. It would be an awesome fight and it would be exciting, but I don't really know. I don't know how excited I am about that. Yan Xiaonan, how about her taking care of business against Jessica Andrade? Absolutely smoked her with that right hand. And, it was not an early, I guess the stoppage was just, I heard some people saying, oh, what was that? That was early, but Jessica Andrade kind of just got cooked. She really didn't get up and be like, oh my God, I got screwed. She got rocked and sent into orbit a little bit there. So
yeah.
She just she's having a tough time against the Chinese fighters, man, and especially at 115. And Yan Xiaonan's a player, man.
Yeah, finally, that big moment that she's really needed. Just perfect timing, good power. She has good striking. Beautiful counter right, and I'll cash that underdog ticket.
Hell yeah,
that.
You did very well this week, or this week that we're talking about right now. I believe you went 4-1. What I'm saying, I didn't. Let me just say that. So, Movsar Evloev against Diego Lopez. Mr. Lopez really shocked a lot of people, including myself. He was in this fight from the beginning to the end. Nasty jitsu, throwing up all sorts of dangerous shit the entire time. Throwing bombs back Evloev's way. And, he won a close razor-thin decision, it seemed like. I know it said unanimous, but this fight was much closer than you would think from the outside looking in.
Yeah. He might have won that first round. He, I think, had 4 submission attempts.
Yeah.
He had an armbar, triangle, rear naked choke. I forget. He was
The last round, he almost took his ACL from him.
Yeah, he was really getting. Yeah, Evloev was grimacing in pain. I think as the fight ended, right? Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, he really made a good account for himself. Got a lot of fans. Got noticed even with a loss. I think he took this on short notice, right? I'm not sure about the haircut.
Lopez did. Yeah, he looked a little weird.
Yeah, haircut not great, but when you look at what he was doing before this, the Contender Series loss to Joe Anderson Brito, not really much stock in that. Didn't lose much stock, I should say. And he's always he's been in a bunch of grappling matches, so very active, young, good athlete, big boy. Seems like he has some upside to him. So I do like that signing. I thought he looked pretty good. Evloev, it got dangerous for him, especially at that big price tag.
Yeah, it really was dangerous, and it wasn't really even close to getting that inside the distance that I played. So I guess I just got to stop betting when I don't really know the other guy. That's I guess my fault looking back at it. But Charles Jourdain wins a not really close fight against Crone Gracie. Crone Gracie should not be in the UFC. He really shouldn't be in mixed martial arts, to be honest. He has not gotten better at all since his last fight, and he's going to blame everyone but himself. He's got bad advice.
Yeah,
That's why he wasn't punching or something. He had
the
no
bad
defense.
Advice would be his father.
Yeah, I don't know. It just really, I'm good on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, really not much to say. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about Crone Gracie. Just not getting any jiu-jitsu off, no takedowns. Just kind of trying to pull guard and just hold Jourdain there for a while and not really even get close to throwing anything up. So the steamroller. How about your boy Matt Frivola taking out Drew Dober? Was really just much better than Drew Dober in this fight and was hurting him. But Matt Frivola hits hard, it seems like, and Dober was not taking these shots well. And you think he's taking some shots, Mr. Dober, and he just really was not reacting well to any of these. And when you looked at it on the he hopped right back up after the stoppage, and you thought, oh wow, that was what was that? And then you look at the replay and you look at the guy's face, you're like, okay, yeah, I kind of understand why the ref was standing right there, going, okay, I think this might be over. And good win for Frivola.
The steamroller, baby. Yeah, I guess we should have seen this coming. Maybe a little bit more. We did give him a chance, but I thought Drew Dober was going to take his best shot. He did not. And I think when he got up after the stoppage, he looked a little. His legs weren't under him. I could be wrong, but early maybe sure, but I don't know, man. Matt Frivola is making a nice charge in this 155-pound division. So it's so deep. I don't know what his ceiling necessarily is. I still think he's a little bit chinny, and he likes to get in firefights. I'm not sure about his cardio, but he has that wrestling, and he has some serious power. So I'm excited to see him, hopefully on a main card in his next fight.
Kennedy Nzechukwu, standing guillotine choke, takes out Devin Clark. I believe he put him out cold, right? Choked him unconscious.
Standing
just dropped
guillotine,
his body. They call that there's a ninja choke. They call that all sorts of things. But Kennedy is a problem. We've been jumping on this bandwagon a little bit lately, and with the right matchup, Kennedy is a problem. He's so big for 205, and his game is just getting better and better. It's evolving every time he gets in there. So good win for Kennedy.
What a fight! What a war! I mean, Kennedy got hurt by Devin Clark, and then he submitted Devin Clark. Two things I didn't think would happen. But light heavyweight is quite the division. I think Kennedy's ceiling is pretty high. I mean, he's one of the biggest dudes in the UFC, like just physically imposing. I mean, he's got like 83-inch reach, 6'5", 6'6", maybe. He's a big boy. He's kind of what a lot of people thought Johnny Walker might be as a prospect at 205. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, to see him doing that, I think he was like plus 15 or plus 1,200 to win by sub, and to see him put somebody like that. I think Devin Clark's got a long line of wrestling. To put him out, standing guillotine, like that's impressive. I know he has those long arms, so it might be a little easier for him to just kind of wrap you up. And once he wraps you up, you're probably fucked. But he can take a shot. He can give it a shot. I feel like he's really maturing, honestly.
Yeah, man, he really is, and he just continues to look better every time he gets in there. That's all you can ask, especially from a guy who he's on the younger side of his mixed martial arts life and career. I think he's only 30 or 31. I think he's going to be 31 very soon. So,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him fight again. Chaos Williams with a split decision over Rolando Bedoya. I thought it was a good decision, but I think this was a close fight, much closer than it should have been. And not a good bet for me.
It was pretty close. I don't remember too much of it, if I have to be frank with you. But Bedoya looked pretty good in his debut.
Virna Jandiroba dominates Marina Rodriguez. This fight wasn't close
Absolutely
whatsoever,
terrible.
and Marina is on the fade list from now on. Virna just, look like prime Habib in there, just wrestle fucking her and doing whatever she wanted, and really just wasn't close at all. So
it's crazy. Marina Rodriguez is Brazilian and has no idea what to do on the ground. I know just being Brazilian doesn't necessarily mean you have Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but she has literally no idea. And this has been a problem for a while. And Virna, she's a specialist for sure, but she doesn't know how to stop a takedown. She doesn't know how to get up or even get out of a position.
yeah,
she just doesn't know what she's doing.
Even in the clinch.
At all. It's very sad to see, especially for somebody like me who was a big fan of her before. I was like, yeah, she can knock out anybody. She doesn't really have any will. She doesn't, when it gets tough, she doesn't really have a second gear. She doesn't really have much dog in her. She was, it's funny because when they were striking, I think in the third round before she got taken down, she looked good. Like, she's much a better striker than Virna. She could hurt her, but she just doesn't have what it takes anymore. She's getting older. She's losing these close decisions. This one wasn't very close, but yeah, I haven't seen any improvement whatsoever. She's actually gotten much worse.
She's really not that physically gifted either. She's just kind of long,
just tall,
not really powerful. Doesn't really hit that hard enough to be like when she's standing to make that impact that she needs. And it's just kind of, it is what it is. How about Parker Porter, man? How about him? Taking out our boy Braxton Smith. I know you were really close to betting, but thank God you talked me out of that. But I was going to bet Braxton Smith, but
that guy might be the worst fighter to ever make the UFC, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't understand what they're like. This is what goes to that conversation. Like, what are they doing? Signing some of these guys. I would almost rather there be less fights with higher quality as opposed to this garbage that they just throw out there from time to time. But how about Parker?
Yeah, he got it done. I think it was his first fight that his mom and wife were there in attendance for ever. In the UFC,
it was in great shape, too.
And that was his first finish. So, yeah, well-deserved for him. That was easy money. That Braxton Smith guy, I just can't get – he had like a minute of cardio. Like, we joke about Terrence McKinney, but he has like 2 minutes at least. This guy had like 30 seconds to a minute of cardio. And when he was on the ground, talk about somebody who didn't know what they were doing. Oh, my God.
Yeah. What a joke.
So hopefully he gets a training camp one of these days. I know he doesn't have one still.
Ali Skarov sends your boy Phil Halls to the Shadow Realm. Might be it for Phil Halls, huh?
Brutal. The guy just melts into a puddle anytime somebody touches him. He had him hurt, right? He was doing some good things, and then it just doesn't matter. Al Skarov, I like him. Big fan. But, man, Phil Hall, it's just sad. It's just sad. He gets punched, and he's just cooked. Like, he just melts. The way he falls, man, it's sad to see, truly. Like, I know it's kind of funny, somebody becomes a meme, like, kind of like Johnny Walker, but, this guy's really talented, really good. He was taking it to Chris Curtis, beating the fuck out of him. And now he can't take a punch at all. It doesn't matter. I guess was there something before that? Was there a head kick or no? I'm trying to remember because I know he took like a couple decent shots before that, and then that straight right landed, and he just died. Either way, very sad to see, but yeah, it might, maybe not yet. Maybe the next one. I think they might put him against somebody like maybe give him a layup in his next win, but I don't know if anything's a layup anymore.
Yeah, especially at 85. There's really, when Augusta Win knocks you down, it's really not a good situation. How about your boy Claudio Ribeiro? He just took out the Ugly Man. The Ugly Man is bad. Really, really bad. and he does not belong in the UFC. So thank God I got that off my chest. Alan Amondowski ain't walking through that door anytime soon to fight you every time. So Ribeiro is not that good either, but he's at least better than Joseph Holmes. So
yeah, that's one of the worst fighters for sure ever. Also,
Frivola gets $50,000 for performance of the night. Fight of the night was Evloev and Diego Lopez. They each get $50,000. Good for Mr. Lopez, and Yan Xiaonan gets $50,000 for performance of the night. Really, not much going on. This was a boring card, so I don't blame them for not giving out that much money. So
yeah,
we move on to the following Saturday, a UFC event from Charlotte, North Carolina, the Spectrum Center. In Charlotte, North Carolina. We had John Anik, Dominic Cruz, and DC on the call. Bruce was in there. Like you said, 18,712 people there. We had 11 fights to talk about. We will get into everything. There were some good fights on this card as opposed to the, I guess the last one was good, but Jalton Almeida just smoked Jarzinho like we would have told you on the pod last week if we had one. We would have been we told you weeks ago that we were all in on Jalton, and he did exactly what we thought he was going to do and just took care of business. This really wasn't competitive. He, once he got that takedown, he dipped all the way down, just tied his ankles up, worked his way up, got in the mount, started to, he just methodically took care of business on the ground like he always does, and this was just as easy a win as it gets for Jalton.
Yep, he got all up in his ass real quick.
All right.
I don't know if there might have been a couple boos, but the Charlotte crowd was very, if you weren't throwing your hands every 2 seconds, they were ready to go.
Come on now, throw your fucking hands.
Yeah. Come on, do them dirty. Come on, I gotta go home to my son Jim Bob.
Knocking the fuck out.
My tooth just fell out. But no, he did this quick. He did this quicker than he finished, I think, anybody else outside of Danilo Marquez in the UFC. So that's good to see, right? This was the biggest step up in competition for him to this day. The hardest, the toughest fight for him, no matter what, not even close. Go from Shamil to him. I think that was his last fight, right? It wasn't Parker Porter, but either way, going from that level to now, and just his third or fourth heavyweight fight. So I think he came in around 230, right? Could be wrong, but I think he stays around that range. He doesn't have to get up to 250 or 260. I think 240 max might be where he wants to be. I think that's where John is, right? 240.
It says his last weigh-in was 231. I don't know if that was this weekend or not, but that's what it says on Tapology.
Perfect. We'll take that. And, the Danilo Marquez fight, that was a ground and pound. So this is quickest submission in the UFC. I think you're going to see him pretty much rack up the rear naked chokes. That's what he did to that dude on the Contender Series, who, by the way, is making a nice account of himself on the regional scene, Mr. Nasruddin Nasruddinov. Yes, I know it's a very common name in the States, but let's look at some of these strikes absorbed. How many strikes has he absorbed in the UFC? It looks like 2 significant strikes in 5 fights, not counting the Contender Series fight. So that's pretty remarkable, right? He's not getting hit at all. Now, are things going to change? Sure, maybe. If he gets in there with Sergey Pavlovich or Curtis Blades and he can't get somebody down, but he's probably getting everybody down. And I think his stand-up, I think his striking in general is probably good enough to be, passable. I guess we haven't seen that much of it, but I don't think it matters. Also, this guy is just, I don't know. He's just different. He's just very different. Probably some of the best jiu-jitsu in the world. And to be at heavyweight, I think that man, I don't know how you stop it.
For a guy his size to move the way he does, be as powerful as he is, and just he dominates every single time he's out there, man. You really, truthfully, what can you say other than that? It's just I have yet to see him get matched up with with someone that is his equal, So I really don't know what the UFC could do to, other than once he gets to these upper levels, but what is Cyril Gane going to do to him? Nothing, right? Curtis Blades.
I saw people saying Tom Aspinall, and I was like, give me a fucking. He's taking Tom Aspinall down.
He's taking Tom Aspinall down and smashing the shit out of him. I think. Aspinall probably has good jiu-jitsu, but it won't matter. It really won't matter.
So I guess he's ranked 12th. It hasn't updated because Jairzinho's still 9th.
Yes.
He's going to jump up to 9. I would like to see him fight Spivak. That would be kind of
awesome.
I'd be down for that. He called out Tai Tuivasa. I mean, he would do disgusting
kill
things.
him.
That would be sad. I could see him moving. Yeah, I mean, you give him a top 10 opponent. Tybura is fighting Aspinall, so we can't see that. And he just beat Rosenstruik. So, yeah, another top 10, maybe top 5-ish, I guess, if you want to give him Curtis Blades on a bounce back. Or if Stipe Miocic. I don't even think that guy's I don't know how he's even ranked anymore. But, yeah, maybe even Volkov. I know he's older and whatnot,
Yeah.
but, you know, he is slow. So I think that would be kind of obvious who wins that one, right? But, yeah, I think him also having that long reach might negate some of the striking concerns that people may have. But, yeah, I'm all in on Jailton Almeida. Me and you have been here since day one when we saw him fight. I don't know if it was the Contender Series fight. Honestly, I think it was the Contender Series fight where we saw a little bit of him. We're like, yo, that dude's nasty. And then he made his debut against who the fuck was it?
For sure. I think it was Danilo Marquez when he fought him. We were like, whoa,
It was.
whoa.
Yep.
Like,
And that was so funny enough. It was his quickest one, and that's where he was just throwing down those absolute monster, scary hammer fists.
Yes.
And he hits so hard, he has so much power, and he throws with so much force and intensity because of his athleticism that you're like, fuck this, I'm giving you my back. And then that's just, the fight's over from there. I mean, who am I to say I'd rather him choke me out than punch me in the face? I'd probably I would rather that, right? Especially when he's on top of you in full mount and you can't really buck him off you. That's not really something that's like going to happen. So
and that fight was at 205. Remember, like when he made his debut, he was
and
at 205.
Danilo Marquez is a big boy.
Yeah,
6'6" for 205. So like we're like, wow, this dude's 6'3". He's just an absolute. I mean, chiseled. I mean, when I put the fight on, my roommate's like, damn, that dude is yak.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, he is. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he pissed hot, but he hasn't. He's just when he was born, that's how he came out, I assume. So, sky's the limit for Mahaldinho, which I believe, what does that translate to? Damn, I just heard it. Somebody said it on a podcast. I forget. Basically means like dangerous man, I think, something like that. And that's very accurate. I'll say that.
Fighting is in my blood. Is that what that means? Maladino, meaning of Maladino from Wikipedia, fighting is in my blood. That is fucking insane if that's actually what that means, but I mean, holy shit. But yeah, you know, listen, we on this podcast will talk endlessly about Maladino. He is absolutely at whatever level you want to put him at, and I don't think anyone is stopping him. Removed from John Jones or Sergey Pavlovich. I truly believe
and
that.
I highly doubt John Jones will be
exactly.
around.
So I really think we're going to have a Super Bowl of heavyweight fighting, which is Pavlovich versus Jailton Almeida for the fucking...
We have to go to that.
I swear to God, I think
championship.
I might. Yeah, that's the Hot Take Hot Box Championship. We have built these guys to this level, and we've handed them the ball, and they just keep running through the hole. You know what I'm saying? We keep running through the hole, baby. And no, but seriously though, like I was trying to explain to people I was watching it with. I'm like, they're like, no, like you know, they see Jairzinho, big ass black dude. They're like, he's gonna knock this fucking guy out. I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, like Jairzinho's good. He's gonna go down. Not Jailton Almeida, man. Like, and then they're seeing this other guy. They're like, oh, okay, like he looks scary. I'm like, no. Like, you'll see, you'll find out, man. Like this guy is, like you said, he looks like he just came out like that. Like he's just built, like so. He's huge. That's why we were like wanting him to fight at 205 because if he could constantly make 205, there's nobody that could beat him at 205 without question. 6'3". 205 pounds. He was a problem there, and he was smashing
79-inch reach.
Marquez. Yeah.
Imagine he fights Johnny Walker or Anthony Smith.
Kills any of those guys. Any of them. Like Anthony. Let's just segue right into that. Anthony Smith needs to retire. Absolutely needs to retire. He ate a couple leg kicks and was cooked. Was completely cooked.
And he kept eating them.
And he didn't make any adjustment for a guy who like is supposed to be smart and analytical and like. You know, he breaks these fights down. He's not an idiot. When I hear him talk, he's not an idiot. But he really just looked like he had no idea what to do against Johnny Walker. I really don't know what the game plan was. And when he took him down, he had some success. I think it was that first round he got hit. And usually Johnny Walker, when he hurts you and he's hitting you with those like frying pans on the side of your head.
Yeah, those are scary.
They usually go out, but he didn't. Like he just kept, he like dogged him and chased him like down and just fought for that takedown, and he got it. But he really didn't present much of a problem after that at all. He was getting beat up by Johnny Walker.
Yeah, Lionheart. Also, he was talking to him about his family. Did you hear that? He was like, "You made fun of my family," and Johnny Walker's like, "What?" I don't know what round it was, but he was talking to him. Anthony Smith has this issue where he has like the most giant chip on his shoulder, where he thinks everybody's out against him, everybody hates him. He I don't know what it is, and he's just really starting to slow down. He's fought a lot, he's trained a lot. He's been knocked out a lot. He's been hit a lot. I mean, he had his teeth, smashed out of his skull, and that was like 6 fights ago. Yeah, I mean, what was his last?
That Glover Teixeira fight was really ugly, man.
The Ankalaev fight wasn't good. He had a layout with Ryan Spann, and then the Jimmy Crute. Did Jimmy Crute fuck his ankle up in that fight? Right.
Jimmy Crute is the one, where shit was like that nerve shit happened, where it was bending and stuff.
And even then, he got taken down by Jimmy Crute, and then before that, it was Devin Clark.
Ryan Spann,
that fight.
He got.
So
kind of just.
I mean, look at his recent wins. The Gustafsson win. He was getting outstruck by Gustafsson and choked him out in the fourth, and Gus was cooked. Volkan Ozdemir. I mean, come on, he was getting outstruck by Volkan Ozdemir. And then there was Shogun and Rashad Evans, guys that were way past it. So I just don't know what he's giving you anymore. Rakic. Remember that Rakic fight? He had 9 total strikes. Significant
Another
strikes
one where he
landed
just
in the fight.
kept eating leg kicks and had no response for it.
So I think we've seen enough from him, really. I mean, I don't know how old he is off the top of my head. 7 years older than me. So, yeah, he's like 34, right? 33, 35, 36? I don't know. But
it's more like not even age-wise. It's more of just he had, his age and fights is the bigger problem, where he's fought so much.
34 years old, 44 fights. And that's just what we know of. So
I think he's got
Johnny Walker,
he's 36-18 is his pro MMA record. So, I mean, what is that?
That's
40. So it's over 50, right? 54 fucking fights. I mean, that's.
Oh, yeah, I did bad. Sorry, I meant 54, right?
Yeah, you said 40.
I said 44.
You were close. I just want the people to know.
I wasn't very close. Let's say that. I did get my degree from Washington Township High School. So, South Jersey's best education.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. But, yeah, I mean, the ref. Maybe not the ref. Was the ref? Who was the ref in this fight? I wasn't sure if the ref made a mistake because I did miss some of this fight live.
You didn't miss much.
It was Keith Peterson. Yeah, I think.
Dom
Cruz. Dom Cruz said something about him at one point, but I forget what it was. He loves throwing subtle jabs, which honestly I respect. Dom.
I love it, dude. I fucking love it, bro.
I think he called him all nonsense. I think I saw somebody tweet it. Let me see if I can find this
DC's
tweet.
like, come on, man.
DC, by the way, might be worse than it was the Douglas Silva de Andrade Cody Stamen fight. I think Keith Peterson didn't. Oh wait, hold on. The fighter can tell the ref to stop the fight. Sometimes we've seen it happen before to me with the exact same all nonsense Keith Peterson. It was about the Potiera fight. He thought the fight should have been stopped before that, I guess, because that dude, Mr. Ihor, your boy, you said he was going to win a title in a couple of years. It's not looking good for him.
Yeah, exactly. My guy I was ready to hitch my wagon to, he didn't exactly pan out. Nah, but, yeah, what are you going to do? Shout out to Johnny Walker with the win. It's about the highest he's been in the rankings. He's number 7 right now. I imagine he'll probably take Anthony Smith's spot. And maybe a Jan Blachowicz or something like that fight would be up next for him. I don't know if Jan's scheduled. I think I
think we're long overdue for a Johnny Walker knockout loss. I hate to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for him to do the chicken dance. I mean, listen, he's pretty much just a meme.
SBG, baby.
Yeah, and I'm ready. I'm waiting for it. Who's next? Maybe Maladino moves down.
Yeah, let's just say if Maladino moves down, that'll be the end of his career. Because listen, Johnny Walker, like you said, he's just kind of due. He's due to get cleaned. And Jamal, then he goes out and talks to Jamal Hill after the fight.
Wait, it's actually funny. I do remember after the main event, backstage, Almeida and Johnny Walker had a nice moment where they were like hugging each other and like hyped up. So that's not going to happen. So maybe he should just train with him. Whatever he does, wherever he goes, whoever he trains with, doesn't matter. Leave John Kavanaugh because you're not going to get any wins under Kavanaugh and all those bums at SBG Ireland.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Train with whatever Almeida does. I don't know what he eats. I don't know how he does any kind of training.
He's not going to train his chin, though, man. That's the big problem here. And didn't get tested this time. He did eat a couple shots here, but
it's coming.
We'll get into a lot of this, but a clip of the Olberg knockout just popped up on my thing, and I was just like, I got totally distracted.
Brutal.
Oh my God. Ian Machado Gary. This actually, not that it was shocking, but this is his best win of his career, probably, right? I mean, D-Rod is no joke, and he made D-Rod look like a bum. It's really good to bounce back from Song Keenan.
Kanan Song.
Yeah.
Song Kanan. The consonant. Also, he almost died in the first round of that fight.
He did.
Ian Gary, there's just a lot about him I really just don't like, honestly. But I will say this was a good matchup for him. This was a good style. I think D-Rod's slow. He's getting older. He gets hit a lot. And he's just, not that he was ever like a top 10 fighter or anything, but he's on the decline. And that head kick was brutal. So seeing Ian Gary push the pace, when he goes forward more, throws more volume, he is good, right? He is a good striker.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm seeing people saying, the future of 170 looks bright. No, what is it? The people who train at Killcliff FC at 170, they have the three best welterweights in the world: Ian Gary, Shavkat, and Gilbert Burns. I'm like, wait a minute, Ian Gary is not one of the best. Let's slow down, please. This whole thing that he wants to fight everybody and beat every single fighter, hilarious. It sounds like he knows he needs a slow build.
Called out Neil Magny, so that's all you need to know.
Well, good luck. Good luck with that one, buddy. And then he always talks about, I'm not trying to be Conor McGregor, but he does the Conor McGregor strut.
I don't give a fiddler's fuck about what anyone thinks about me. That's what he said before the fucking fight. I'm like, come on, man. They're playing Irish music before. I'm like, so fucking corny. I get he's Irish, man, but they're so badly wanting to tap into that whole Conor thing again. And it's just...
Yeah, taking his wife's last name also. Just cuck material.
It doesn't. Being Ian Gary and then being Ian Machado Gary out of nowhere it's just very confusing to people. I'm not gonna lie. But it was a good win. I don't want to take away from him. It was a nice head kick. It was the best he's looked, and I have been a big time detractor of his. I think my big thing is with him, his defense is not good, and it really didn't come into play here. But I am not really ready to knight this guy as the truth until I see him go into war. I mean, a Neil Magny fight would be nice, but I'd even like to see him fight a Wonder Boy or something like that, where it's truly going to get tested. It's
funny. I saw a lot of people tweeting how they were on D-Rod, and there's a lot of people on D-Rod, but the line kept going up on Ian Gary. So it turns out not as many people were, putting their money where their mouth is.
No, I think a lot of people that talk about it online don't really bet. I think that's a big thing. All those MMA accounts are just there for interactions and to just suck the fighters off. Basically, there's a lot of that going on the MMA world.
Well,
shout out to all you out there who are sucking and swallowing all day. So, Carlos Olberg took out your boy. I know you also said at one point that you would like him to be the minister of your wedding one day. But the duelist, Ihor Potieria. Good for him to get what was coming to him after he knocked out Shogun and did his whole fucking sword routine. This man gets sent to the Shadow Realm by Carlos Olberg. What is his name? The Black Jag? I think is his nickname. That's a sick ass nickname. Sick. But
he probably has the. I would love to see his DMs for an hour.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he's a good-looking guy for sure. But it's he trains with Izzy. Izzy might need some help. He's going through a little bit of a tough time getting sued by his ex-girlfriend. So shout out to him. Wanted to make sure I brought that up. But listen, good win for Carlos Olberg. He's really kind of bounced back and really grown from that loss to Kennedy, which was a fight that he was dominating. seems like Kennedy is. That's kind of why I think me and you both like Kennedy so much is because that's a fight where something wasn't going his way, and even this Devin Clark fight wasn't going his way, and he found a way to win. Like he kind of goes through the storm, and he's not scared to stand and bang, and like that. But more on Olberg though, it's just what a way to bounce back. Going to decision with the Water Buffalo wasn't a great wasn't a great look, but 3 finish wins, 1 against Mr. Nick. So it's things are looking up for Mr. Olberg.
That left hook he has is nasty.
Yeah, he's powerful, man. He's a problem at 205. The big guy, man.
There's going to be some things about him that we have to find out for sure. Cardio, ground game. Can he really take a shot? Remember, Kennedy kind of once the tide shifted, he was done. So, also, I think he's 32, right? Yeah, I like him. I think he's making improvements, which you don't always see from guys from that training camp. But at 205, why not? Hey, Johnny Walker, Carlos Olberg, sign me up.
Yeah, at some point. Poor Johnny. Johnny's one. I mean, Johnny might be fighting for a title soon. That's what we really have to wrap our head around. I'm not kidding. Like if he wins one more fight, he's fighting for a title. You need to get that together, man. I'm gonna let you know.
I don't know. I don't think so.
If he fights Jan Blachowicz or Ankalaev and he wins, which isn't gonna happen, but I mean, if it does, it might though.
What if Jamal Hill's the champion? They're gonna send him out there against Jamal Hill.
Oh yeah, to go timber
human casket.
One more time, baby. One more time.
If Johnny Walker falls and no one's around to hear it, did it really make a noise?
Yeah, it did.
I think so.
It fucking did. I saw it happen in the octagon. And shout out to SBG, though. Alex Morano with a guillotine choke over Tim Means. This fight really did nothing for me. I wouldn't have bet anything on this fight because it's just 2 old guys that I don't trust. Would have led with Morano a little bit more, but I didn't touch
watch
this
much
at all.
of this.
To be honest, yeah, I saw the finish. I saw them standing and trading a little bit, but it just this is a fight where I went and got something to eat. I was just like, all right, because after Matt Brown sent Court McGee to the Shadow Realm, which is a good win for him. The Immortal, man, he keeps getting it. I gotta respect this man because some of these old guys, they are just boring as shit, and they keep fucking like just hanging around. At least Matt Brown, when he's knocking people out, they're going to sleep, dude. But I mean, he made Diego Lima turn into a lawn chair, and then he just had Court McGee ask him what year it was after he hit him. So
Diego Sanchez, remember that elbow?
Oh man, yeah, like
Mike Pyle when he beat the absolute brakes off of that fella. I'm trying to think of who else he viciously knocked out. Pete Sell, way back in the day. Pete Sell apparently was a huge. I think at Matt Brown's at this point he was 9-7, and he beat the fuck out of Pete Sell. I'm trying to see if there's a line on that fight. If this gives an accurate representation, yeah, Matt Brown was like plus 140. So it says, but yeah, I mean, when he's fought, I mean, dude, being 42, and he looks old in there for sure. He looks a little slower too, but the last thing to go is power.
Yeah,
and there's no reason he can't go out and maybe get another knockout. I do worry about his durability and his chin, especially at 170. But if he fights a guy like Court McGee or like if you give him Tim Means, maybe even Alex Morano.
Yeah, I'd like to see him in a Morano fight.
Gets the job done and maybe break that record. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean before that, he was looking a little slow. They were just laying on each other against a cage, but they're a combined 80 years old, I think so.
Yeah, and Court's not good. And he's shown that over the last couple times he's been in there, and
yeah, he got hit, and he was just looking up at the lights, like, "Damn,
bro." He was like, "I was like, whoa,
it's a nice day out tonight."
Yeah, like, and they're like, "What, dude? You're inside, man." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Wait, I thought I just woke up." They're like, "No, man, you've been up for a while, but you got removed from your consciousness there for a little bit." Nah, it just with the right matchup, I think Matt Brown's exciting. I hope they don't try and kill him. Which they could feed him to somebody like not this guy, but like an Ian Gary or somebody like one of those up and coming guys. Like they kind of tried to do with the Baeza fight.
Yeah. Also, did you know this was a battle of 2 guys who had previously died in Court McGee and Matt Brown?
What do you mean?
They both their heart stopped beating for several minutes. I believe Matt Brown's was a couple minutes. It was a nice amount of time. They both had an overdose. at one point in their life.
Well,
Both from heroin, and they both lost. Their heart stopped for a little bit, for a couple minutes, and then they got right back in. And how can you really kill somebody who's already been killed?
true. You can't kill me. I've already been dead. So
There you go.
good for Matt Brown. How about Carl Williams taking care of business against Chase Sherman? What a boring fight this was. Carl Williams kind of gassed out. Chase Sherman looked good for.
He could have won that third round, honestly, because he definitely won the second. And that's funny because in the first he was getting beat up, getting bloody, got taken down to end the round. So it's like, man. Yeah, he moves so awkwardly, and Carl Williams just doesn't really go for anything. He doesn't really have, he has a nice little game, but very boring. And you should be able to get heavy finishes at heavyweight no matter what, right? So especially against Chase Sherman, but. Either way, I mean, hey, Chase Sherman almost won.
He really didn't even take him down either. He's supposed to be the Penn State wrestler. He really struggled to take him down.
He was just jabbing the fuck out of him. I think he beat the Penn State wrestler on the contender series.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I always mix it up, but
fuck Penn State regardless. So
facts.
Yeah, decent win for Carl Williams. I mean, he's gonna be a guy that you see matched up with somebody, and you're like, yeah, he's gonna take him down, and that's it. But also, there's gonna be a time to fade him for sure. He's not gonna go undefeated at heavyweight. I mean. Come on. He has a nice jab, though. I will say that. Seeing heavyweights use that, I mean, he was busting Chase Sherman's nose all up. So
yeah, his hands
we
look
shall
better
see what he has
thought.
next. Yeah, for sure. But no gas.
No gas. Neither did Chase Sherman. That was the only thing that actually gave him this win was the fact that Chase, was having similar issues with his gas tank, but. It was just a really boring fight. But like you said, Carl Williams, the thing that won him that third round was his ability to pop that jab out there and just kind of stay active while Chase was kind of just walking around and, for lack of a better word, chasing him around. And really, Carl was just kind of.
See what you did there.
Yeah, you like that. That's why I am who I am. But good win for Carl Williams. How about Douglas Silva, DeAndrade? I thought this was a horrible decision. I thought Cody Stamann won. I guess I'll have to go back and watch it. But I mean, I think everyone thought that Cody Stamann had won, even including Cody Stamann, and it just didn't go his way. So, that's
ugly. Interesting because I saw the live odds right before the fight was over. It was like 10 seconds left in the third, minus 250 for Stamann. I was like, I thought he lost the first two rounds for sure. I don't know. I think a big part of what helped lead to him possibly losing that first round was the referee completely botching that stand up.
Yeah.
Or he didn't. He got what? Stamann got kicked in the kind of like the neck throat area.
Yeah, like an up kick while he was down.
And he didn't give him his position back. I believe the guy's name is Wayne Spinola. We don't have to see him. Also, the guy in the Kim Bomb fight, Larry Carter. We don't need to see him ever.
We'll talk about him.
Wayne Spinola. Yeah, I think. It's up to the referee if he wants to give the position back, but I feel like when somebody is on top and they get illegally struck, you can ask them, or you're supposed to ask them, if they want their position back, or you just give them the position back. But I guess I don't know, man. It must be different. Different athletic commissions have just different rules and different training methods, and tell their judges or referees to do different things. I don't really know because it doesn't make sense at all, and that probably cost him the fight, and that's not how you want to lose a fight, especially Cody Stamann. He's always in close fights. Honestly, I think he should blame himself for not getting that finish in the third round. I mean, Douglas Silva DeAndrade was, he was throwing still, but he was just winging. He was just trying to catch him with something big and end the fight because he was gassed out bad. I think Cody's going to kick himself for not putting the foot in the gas, and I think he was trying to wrestle in the third. I'm like,
he really. IQ was not there in this one. But yeah, like he was fresh. He was popping around. His hands are good. He's got the wrestling background. Cody Stamann has all the tools. It just seems like he's never really able to put it together completely. And, I have trouble being here and being like, oh my God, I feel so bad for Cody Stamann. Like you said, when you you thought you won, so you were kind of coasting a little bit and Andrade was just you could tell by the way Andrade was fighting, he thought he was losing. So he was throwing just the wildest shit with a minute left, trying to, make contact or kind of make a big impact in that third round to kind of steal that round. Yeah, I didn't like this at all. But I think this is a big problem with when they travel, and we really haven't had to experience this in a while because they haven't been traveling, and it's been all in Las Vegas, and there's been the same, Herzog. You've had the best that the sport has to offer reffing. This isn't like any other sport. Like they want to be considered like one of the four major sports, the NHL, MLB, NFL. NBA, they all have their own refs, and they know exactly what you're getting when these guys are coming in. When the UFC travels to North Carolina and Larry Carter's in there, or Wayne Spinoza, or whatever the fuck the guy's name is, Spinola.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't have guys in there who it seems like they really could cost a guy a fight, or they really have a negative impact on what's going on. It's just. I think that's a black eye on the sport. It's really not a good look at all. And let's get into another not good look in the sport. Mandy Bohm and Ji Young Kim. What a joke. This is a fucking joke, man. This whole thing was horrible. And it basically didn't go downhill until the end of the second round when Mandy Bohm, I believe, somehow ends up on top of Ji Young Kim for the last 15 to 20 seconds of the round. And a good 5 seconds after the bell rings and Mandy Bohm's getting up, Ji Young Kim pops her in the chest with a kick on the way up. And then acts confused.
A little push.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like a deadly kick. It was just enough for everyone was like, whoa, like what the fuck was that? And pops her with that, so she gets a point taken away after they come back from the commercial. Okay. So then she refuses the whole time. Her corner's yelling, please stand up, please go and throw hands with her because you're much better than her, please, we're begging you. And she won't listen. No matter what they say, she won't listen. She's just holding her up against the fence. She's shooting for takedowns. She's going right into exactly what Mandy Bohm wants her to do. She gets her up against the fence. Mandy Bohm puts a hand down on the ground, and it was so predictable. You're sitting there, you're like, this knee is coming at some point. I don't know when, but here it comes. Boom. Hits her. Not even really that hard. Like, it really wasn't for fouls. Like Peter Yan, when he fouled Sterling, got his money's worth. He definitely hit the shit out of him. And even then, people were calling fraud on that. With this one, Mandy Bohm right away, before the doctor even walked into the octagon, was saying, I'm done. I quit. Yeah. Basically, I can't fight. I can't see. She would fake close her eye. And as the person would start talking to her, she'd open it back up normally. And then go, wait, shit. And then would close it again. So she's 100% faking this. So as they're sitting there, okay, wait, the fight's over. They call the fight. Then they go to a video.
Did they say it was a TKO at first, right?
Yeah. So they're like TKO, and then they're like, wait, no, that's not it. And then the ref walks over and raises her hand and takes another point away from her.
After the fight is over.
After everything's over with. Like, people are like going to get snacks. They're like, wait, what? They got a point take? What do you mean? So then they come back in and they're like rewatching the fucking fight on the side. It's like 15 minutes later. They're like, a split technical decision. Mandy Bohm wins. And she's getting fucking booed, as she should. What a joke that was. And she's like, fuck you, like talking shit. I'm like, oh my God, this girl is an absolute loser. I can't wait for her to get knocked the fuck out. She probably never will.
I'm so glad she won that fight, because the next time she fights, I don't care who it is, I'm putting everything on that person's money line. I don't care. Like, truly. I did it with it just happened recently. What was a big money line that I told you I had a bad day and I bet all on them? Fuck.
Wasn't it the Brazilian girl?
Yes, thank you.
I forget what her name was, but I know who you're
it was the other Yasmin.
Not Pinheiro or not? No.
No, it wasn't who. Yasmin Lucindo. When she fought Brogan Walker. I was like, there's just no way Brogan Walker can even win a minute, let alone a round, let alone 2 rounds. Mandy Bohm, still, even though they were calling her Boom, and that really bothered me a lot, because I don't understand where the I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe it's something, a dialect or something.
She probably doesn't even know. I wouldn't doubt if she didn't know how to pronounce her own last name. She still lost on one of the judges' scorecards. Bobby Harris, never heard of him, gave the first 2 rounds to Kim, and then the third was a 9-8 for Boom, 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 Bomb, Boom. Meanwhile, Junichiro Kamijo and Mike Bell gave the first round to Mandy Baum. Sure. I
don't even know about that, but
I don't even think she won a round.
I don't think so either.
So the next person she fights, even if it's not a step up from Jiyeon Kim, she's going to lose. She's just going to lose. She stinks. I thought, I was like, damn, man, she's got good jiu-jitsu or good submission game. Like early on in the fight, I was like, damn, she might choke Kim out. And then Kim got her in advantageous spots. In the third round, she had her at the end of the fight in a guillotine. And when she got taken down in the first or second, she then took Mandy Boone down.
Oh, that's right. That's how that happened, right? She's in the guillotine, and she's not able to finish it. That's right. She's not able to finish it, and then after the second round ends, she gets up and she fucking kicks her off of her 10 seconds later.
Yes. Just an absolute clown show in Charlotte. You can cut both fighters. You can cut the referee for all I care. Cut all of them.
Well, that's the problem.
Don't
you
go
have
back
guys
to
like
Charlotte.
Larry Carter in there, and he's making the calls. The guy had no fucking idea what he was doing.
Larry Carter. Wasn't that the Toronto Blue Jays catcher? That was Gary Carter. Sorry.
Yeah, shout out. Rest in peace. But this one was just like where I'm like that. If I was watching this with friends, I'd be like, this isn't what the sport. Like I was embarrassed. I really was. I was just like this. I can't imagine how the UFC or those people feel watching that shit where they're like, this is our sport, man. And they're just, Jiyeon Kim really did deserve to lose because she fought like a fucking moron.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not even mad at that.
No, really. It was more of just like the incompetence of everyone involved.
Well, I'm kind of mad because I only made one bet, and it was a $100 parlay to win 166. It was like Carl Williams, Almeida, her, and who was the other layup? Let's see. Oh, Carlos Holberg. Easy. And she lost. And she shouldn't have lost, honestly. It should just be, whatever. It is what it is.
You should at least get your money back for that fucking bullshit.
Something. But, we're going to fade. Listen, whenever this next fight gets announced, whenever odds drop, it could be a month away. I'm betting against whoever fights Mandy Baum. I think that's what we're going to start doing now. We're going to just throw all of our bets on one. It's going to be the ultimate fade system. Anytime somebody that we know is just stinks, if they decide to give Joseph Holmes another fight, let's give you a fifth fight. We're going to absolutely put our mortgages that we don't have on whoever it is he's fighting. It could be Jimmy Neutron. It could be you. It could be James McSweeney. I don't care who it is. I'm putting all of it on them. And Mandy Baum is on that list.
Without question, man. How about Brian Battle? Gabe Green, his brain short-circuited to begin this fight, and he just I think for a second he thought he was playing UFC 4 and just decided to just start mashing buttons and was just fucking spamming punches at Brian Battle, and he got him up against the cage, and then Brian Battle called him and sent him to the Shadow Realm. 14-second.
Cleaned him the fuck out.
Easy knockout for the hometown kid, Brian Battle, winner of the Ultimate Fighter, who we've talked about on this.
I didn't know he was from Charlotte.
Yeah, he was freaking out after the fight.
I did see that, but I didn't know. I
don't know if he's fighting out of Charlotte, North Carolina, because he was acting like he was like the Prince of Charlotte after. So good win for Brian. This really didn't do much other than just excite the people, and it was crazy. It was an easy win for me. I would have had Brian Battle, but
damn, I was going to take Gabe Green. I was like, you know what? He's going to keep this at range. Not even close to what I thought he would do. He just tried to smother him, and he got cooked.
How about Lisboa? I don't really know much about her, but this was an easy bet against JRC, Jessica Rose Clark.
Hey,
what did
we just talk about with Mandy Baum?
Yeah, right? She's the
Jessica Rose Clark. It's funny because she did some decent things. Whenever she would go first or land, she could land. She has some power in her hands. And she threw that nasty elbow, just quick cut open to Nara Lisboa. But after that happened, Lisboa turned it the fuck up and choked her out. Lisboa looks pretty decent, man. Not just looks wise, she looks good, but she also, man, she has quick hands, and she throws, brings back, throws again. She hits hard, right? She doesn't really move her head much, but it looks like she has some jiu-jitsu too to her game. I know she was Muay Thai?
I believe they were saying Muay Thai was her expertise.
She fought Valentino way back in 2013 at Muay Thai games or something like that. That part of her game's down. I think she's relatively relatively young. She's
Do you
32,
know who
yeah.
her first loss was to?
The Thai Panther. Oh, it was Nora Dumont.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Wow.
I think that's a fight she was winning, but then choked out, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was only a 3-minute fight. Rear naked choke. A Jungle Fight 90.
I mean, listen, when Jungle Fight's in the house, there's always some shit going on, right? So,
You know who was
this
the
chick
main
looks
event?
pretty good, man. I do not.
Borrachina.
Wow.
Paulo Costa knocked out Adriano Balbi.
See ya, Baldy. Mike Baldinger.
João Almeida was the co-main who did not fight the
Jalton,
UFC.
I mean.
No, not to be confused with Jalton. But, yeah, sorry. Killed
Those cards are pretty good.
Davison Figueiredo. They're,
All on the same card?
yeah, Viviano Rujo.
God damn.
There's a lot of fucking guys.
Imagine being there. You spent like 3 cents to get in.
Yeah, Norma Dumont. Yeah.
God damn.
How about it?
I wish we could.
Jungle
If
Fight.
there's any video on Fight Pass, we need to watch. We need to have a nice night where we watch that whole card,
Jalton Almeida.
start to finish. But yeah, I mean, Jessica Rose Clark. She just doesn't want to fight, right? She looks like she has a little hammer in her game, right? She can kind of be the bully. She can kind of go forward a little bit, but not much. And she cannot take. She has zero resistance, whether it be punch resistance. She gets busted up a little. She starts to kind of like want to quit. Doesn't have good cardio. Good athlete, but that's about it. And now she's 11-9 in her career, and I think we know what is next.
Yeah, we're not going to say it, but you guys can all connect the dots. We lost the P-Rod fight on this one. He botched his weight cut, apparently, against Natan Levy, so we didn't get to see
Yeah,
Mr.
Natan Levy was not happy.
Yeah, Manel Kopp fight, I know that was supposed to happen soon, but that's getting canceled. I don't know if there's something wrong with his DNA or something.
Figgy cannot make weight. He has inferior DNA.
Yes,
That's what I'm hearing.
I believe that's crazy. That was one of the most crazy disrespectful things I've ever heard anyone say. But Jalton Almeida gets 50,000, Machado Gary gets 50,000, Carlos Olberg gets 50,000, and Matt Brown, the Immortal, gets 50,000. And
I believe Brian Battle got 50K afterwards, if I remember correctly, from the post. I don't know how he did. I mean, a 14-second knockout.
Yeah.
That warrants it. I mean, you want a performance bonus. That's the quickest performance, and that was that place was rocking after he did that. He was rocking. Everybody was fired up. You know what I mean? So I don't know how you don't give him 50K for that. I think somebody mentioned it in the post-fight presser. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll give him 50K too." It's like, are you even watching? Like, do you know what's going on?
He probably wasn't even in the arena by then. He's probably like, wait. Yeah. He's like, I just saw that actually before I walked in here. Yeah, give him too. It's like, okay, man.
Yeah. Sure.
But I guess I did want to ask you about the boxing. Rolly Romero getting one of the most disgusting stoppages of all time. That's why boxing is easily one of the most corrupt sports in all of America and honestly the world.
The world for sure. There's corruption in many sports that take part in other countries. Soccer, tennis. Now, I don't know about golf so much, but now they're doing this whole lift thing that, gets a little weird. Boxing, man. And it's so funny because people want to always like say, Alex Pereira took a dive. This fight was fixed to have John Jones or Conor win. It's like, if you think the UFC's corrupt because there's some bad, listen, athletic commissions suck, but those athletic commissions also suck in boxing. Like, it's not like I know we joke about Dana White and the UFC, wanting things to happen, but like they don't. I don't think you can see a path for anything being fixed or corrupt in the UFC that well. I don't think it's really something that's even relevant. But in boxing, yeah, you best believe the night before a fight, you have the WBC commissioner out to dinner with the 3 judges of the fight that's going to take place tomorrow for the WBC belt. But it just so happens that the commissioner of the WBC is good friends with Oscar De La Hoya, and the fighter who's fighting in the championship is a top-ranked fighter. It all just it's not a coincidence in boxing. It's 1,000,000% not a coincidence. You got Floyd Mayweather ringside screaming. He wants this. I think I don't know what his stock in Rolly Romero is necessarily, but it just makes Tony Weeks is like, you don't really know UFC judges, right? Boxing judges, you don't know many of them. There's a couple guys that do all the big fights. Tony Weeks, I believe, is Who's he married to? 1 second. I could be wrong. But Tony Weeks has been one of the better judges or referees in boxing his whole life. I mean, he's been doing big fights for so long. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe he's too old now. It's just, I mean, honestly, after that, he should never do another fight again. It doesn't matter if he's too old or he's corrupt. It could be both. That should never happen again. I'm trying to. Mr. Barroso was handily beating Rolly Romero. I mean, he was a big underdog. He's 40 years old. Looks like he's 60. He looks like he's been through some shit. I don't know if you got a glimpse of him.
Oh yeah.
He looks like he's been through some shit. That's some Venezuelan, a hard 40 Venezuelan years on his resume. He's seen some things. And he knocks down Rolly in the second round. Nobody really saw that coming. And then he's just winning every round. And then Rolly puts up a little pressure. He kind of trips and he misses a shot. And then Tony Weeks steps in. And his corner was pissed. Barroso himself didn't look like he really cared, but his facial expression never changes ever. Like I said, he's seen some shit. But his corner was fed up. The commentators were like confused. Everybody on Twitter. Dan Raphael's been covering boxing for like 50 years. Real big fat dude for ESPN. He said that was the worst stoppage he's ever seen. Chris Mannix, noted Celtics fan, who we don't love that, but he's been covering boxing for a while. Said it was the worst stoppage he ever saw. Dan Canobio, my guy, works for John Boy Media, was disgusted. He made a reaction video right away, and he was pissed. Like that. I think it wasn't as like mainstream because it was Rolly Romero, who's coming off a loss to Tank. Like nobody really knew about him anyway. So nobody really cared. There's probably not that many people watching compared to this week. You'll have Lomachenko and Devin Haney. If it happened in that fight, I think the world would burn. So, yeah, I mean, this is just boxing. This is just what happens in boxing, sadly. The interest, it's almost like the results are predetermined. The winner and loser is predetermined, which is so sad to see. But they want to set up a Ryan Garcia fight with Rolly Romero, which, I don't know why that's what they want to do, but that's what they want to do. And then if that's what enough people want, they're going to make it happen. So, and it's sad. Rolly Ramirez needs to get a new coach. Bullet needs to probably not coach anybody ever again. He was trying to come at Gervonta Davis when they had their presser. I was like, who's this guy with dreads? He's their other trainer, Rolly's trainer, and no game plan. He wasn't telling him anything. He was like, all right. He was just trying to like keep him calm. Meanwhile, Rolly Ramirez not even throwing punches. Just pathetic. But I can't wait for this week. Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko. That's going to be huge. I think Devin Haney wins. A lot more rounds, but it will be close, if that makes sense.
I'm excited for that. I think and then we have. Do we have UFC this weekend?
Yeah. I mean, the main event was supposed to take place in Charlotte.
Yeah,
it was Mackenzie Dern, Angela Hill. Now they said, you know what? We got to make that the main event. You know what we're going to sell tickets on? Mackenzie Dern, Angela Hill, baby. Yeah, 5 rounds of just goodness.
At least it's
Mackenzie Hill. Mackenzie Dern's lost 2 of 3, and the one she won, she also could have lost. Angela Hill has lost, 3. 3 out of her last 5. Her 2 wins are Lupi and Emily Ducote. I think she wins this, honestly. I don't know if Mackenzie Dern can't wrestle. Like, she can't get a takedown. She can work her jiu-jitsu better than a lot of fighters, right? But
I'm probably taking Angela Hill.
Absolutely. And we'll see. I
might
just honestly stay away.
Anyone who knows this pod, it knows that would kill us inside. But I can also see her subbing. So like I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to cook something up. At least I have a week to figure it out. But
Angela Hill's last 2 wins again are Lupita Godinez and Emily Ducote. They will be fighting each other in the feature bout. After Emily Ducote's last fight, I think we vowed to stay away from that. Michael Johnson, Diego Ferreira. That's kind of a random banger, possibly, but also, 2 older guys. Mahashate, your boy.
Buckley is nice. Yeah.
That'll be nice. That'll be nice. Slava Claus and Mahashate, your 2 champions. You said, I think you said 2024 Mahashate would win gold at 155.
No, I think you got me confused with Orion Koski. That's who I thought said was. I can't believe Gilbert Urbina is still fucking getting shots.
He's going to get shots. That's for sure. Ilir Latifi. He said, whenever you think a card's really sloppy, there's like an Ilir Latifi, either 205 or heavyweight fight, and he's going to be taking on Nascimento. He's probably going to get crushed there. Victoria Leonardo also. She's like, I'll stop by. I'll fight. I'll pop in and make this garbage card really sloppy and ugly. She's gonna lose. She's
in her Dragon Ball Z costume.
So pathetic. Natalia Silva is pretty good. Remember Victoria Leonardo, best win of her career, Mandy Baum. So
there you go.
There you go.
So there's that. Hot Take Hot Box Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. We'll be back again later on in this week to give a full, more interesting breakdown of that card, other than just shitting on it. We will
Natalia Silva money line.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.